Madonna Euro Cup 2020, good one. Good start for Italy against Turkey. 3-0 we ended in favor of Italy. I'll start with you, Shay, on this one. Your overall thought on this game? Turkey losing 3-0 against Italy.
Thank you, Deba. I think the Italian team was totally too strong for the Turkish team. Um, just judging by what we saw on the day. But initially, I think the bookmakers thought the
Turkey were
Turkish
going
team were supposed
to
to,
yeah.
yes, at least throw kind of spanner in the works of the Italian team.
Uh-huh.
But it was the other way around. The Turkish team offered uh, totally, uh,
Nothing
totally a
to
zero
them.
opposition to the Italian
Uh-huh.
team.
Uh-huh.
Because
True that.
basically, initially, my thought was that Italy playing two old central defenders was
Uh-huh.
supposed to be, the danger spot for the Italian team. I
Right.
expected the Turkish team to capitalize on that because they started. Uh, uh, they started on the back foot, like defending and waiting
Mm-hmm.
on the Italian team to come to them.
Yeah.
I expected them to have countered and put the two central defenders, which are already old, Bonucci and Chiellini,
Killing
exactly put them on the run and capitalize on that. But it was a total walk in the park for the Italian
for
team.
Italy
They
against the Greek.
deserved, yeah, they deserved the victory. They played quite well, and also looking at the bench of the Italian team, that they have quite a lot of young players coming up in that team. I think the Italian team they're in this competition to really prove us wrong after all.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Lucatelli and Barella. How impressed were you with them on the day, Olale?
Well, I think both of them, alongside Jorginho, did decently well. But I think the problem with the Italian team is probably the same problem with majority of the team in this competition. I think most of the guys have not really played reasonable amount of minutes together. You could still see some bit of the chemistry. The chemistry is not
He's
perfect. Let
not
me just
there.
put it there.
Yeah.
It is not,
Yeah.
but individually, you could see what all these guys could do.
Bring
I
to the
think
table.
we'll see. We'll see. Let me say a better version of them in the second game. By then, that understanding will be
With the
there will be much
100%.
as a better understanding
Better than this one.
among the players, not even the midfield trio alone, among all
Okay.
the players. I think they
Okay.
have a very good squad.
Decent team.
My decent might not be the best, but it's a squad that is good enough to win a
As a
championship
team. Yeah,
as
as
a
a
team.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'll stay with you for the Wales Switzerland game. The Welsh did not offer so much, dependent on the individual brilliance of Gareth Bale, the speed of Daniel James, and probably the ghosting of Ramsey. Switzerland had the game for the taking, but they did not. 1-1, he ended on the day. But you say that's a deserved result for the match, or probably Switzerland, if they did something extra, could have gotten the maximum 3 points.
I think for Switzerland, it wasn't about them even doing anything extra. It was just about them being better composed in front of goal and taking their chances. The little they did on the night got them a decent amount of chances. Yeah, if they are taking their chances, that'll be a different ball game.
Mhm.
Wales doesn't have any business going away with a point on the
In the game.
night. But of course, uh, as long as the game is 1-0,
It's not settled.
the team behind we always fancy their chances,
Exactly.
especially with a very tall striker that they have
Center or
it doesn't take much
striker.
for you to just get a goal. It's just a matter of what a set piece and launch the ball inside the box. So for me,
And you're
I
good
think
to go.
Switzerland they'll be bitter. They should have won the game because I think their game against Turkey will be different. I was a bit disappointed in the Turkish team with their performance against the Italians.
Against
They
the
sat too
Italians.
deep. They sat too deep.
Yeah.
I was expecting something more adventurous, but they sat too deep. But I think it's going to be a different ball game by the time they face the Swiss. I think the Swiss are there. They should have taken the Welsh teams to the cleaner. That was their best. I think their best chance to get win in that group.
Win is a draw. Okay. All right. Perfect.
Debo, Debo,
Okay.
if I'm also add something to that, I think the Swiss manager, okay, they call them coach, also made a mistake by removing what's the name? Uh, the
Shakiri.
Liverpool, yeah,
Shakiri.
Sheridan Shaqiri, because
Yeah.
it was actually playing in like a number 10 role, and immediately removed him. I think the threat to the Welsh defense also reduced.
Reduce and
It
give them
also like,
the
yeah, it showed
confidence to come on.
initiative back to the Welsh
Yeah.
team. I think that was
Okay.
what made the
Okay. All right. Perfect. Kachi, I'm gonna go for you now. Finland versus Denmark. We had a catastrophe. Thank God we did not lose the enigmatic and versatile yet so quiet Christian Eriksen. He had an heart attack on the pitch. Was revived of unfortunately after resuscitation of about 17 times or thereabouts, according to the doctors. They said he was actually dead, was just brought back to life, like we feared. And the Danish team did well to protect one of their own. But my question, not even about the game, it's the fact that these players they were made to come back after a while to finish up the game. Are we in hold room where is a spectacularized movie, fight to the death? We don't respect human feelings, humanity. They just saw one of their own that could have died, and they were made to go back for the entertainment of for some people. I, I know you can laugh at me or feel okay that's good because I'm a staunch supporter of capitalism, but at this point, this is human life. This is humanity. Are we saying this drive for money has become insanity where we cannot even feel for a guy that has two children, a parent of his own, a girlfriend? I don't know. I want your opinion, sincerely.
Um, I think UEFA missed a great opportunity to score huge PR with the viewing public, especially with what they were preaching against the ill-fated Super
Europa
League.
Super League.
That they said, okay, it was lacking human empathy and was all about making the money. I think that incident, singular incident or decision of asking the Danish team to come back and listening to their coach, I think Kasper Himmlich or whatever, after the game, he said many of his players were still dazed, and that and a lot of that he still feels he will struggle to get them to train normally for game two. Not to talk of coming back. Yeah, not to talk of coming back to complete a game. It really wouldn't have cost UEFA any logistical issue to postpone that game by 12 hours or by 16 hours.
Exactly.
So yes, this was an opportunity missed by UEFA. The Danish team also, they held their own. Don't forget that they had a penalty that in normal circumstances would have been taken by Christian Eriksen if he was on the
Exactly.
pitch, and maybe
Exactly.
the story would have been different. And
Exactly.
even the goal they conceded, I mean,
Was
if Kasper Schmeichel
Yeah.
was
was
in
in
his
the
right
right frame of
element.
mind, he definitely would have saved
For me, it's
that
just
that
it's
that
unfair.
chance.
If you
So
ask me,
I
for me, it's
think
unfair.
I understand. Yes, the show must go on, but yes, the show could have gone on another day, not that same day. So it was a big opportunity that UEFA missed. It says more about how much importance they place on,
My life.
no, not even the human life, how much importance they place on ratings and on getting, or so they basically tells you they listen more to their sponsors than they do
Um,
about the players. And then coming back to the Christian Eriksen incident, it also lets you know that no matter how much you have made, no matter your economic situation, that incident brought the finality of life to the forefront.
I was
Uh,
literally crying.
yeah, I mean, the entire stadium. And then we must give kudos to the fans who were on the pitch, both the Finnish fans and the
And the
Danish
Danish.
fans, shouting Christian Eriksen in unison, clapping
Yeah,
for him,
yeah, yeah,
Romelu Lukaku saying they love him.
yeah,
But I also want to give kudos to how much technology has evolved. This was the same incident that happened to Joseph Desiree Job
yeah.
during the what's that tournament
Was
called
was
again?
it no? It wasn't Job. It
No, no,
was
it
No,
was
Mark
it's
Vivian.
Mark
Joseph
Vivian
Foe.
Foe.
Mark
Mark
Vivian
Vivian
Fowe.
Foe.
I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry. To Mark Vivian Fowe. And what happened was just the absence of a defibrillator on pitch. Christian Eriksen's life was saved because number one, the referee acted
Very
um,
quickly.
very quickly. His captain was also very spot on, and the fact
Yeah,
that they had this defibrillator on site,
on site.
made it so easy. It says a lot. That is why it will be difficult for many, I'm not saying all, for many African countries to host major tournaments of this nature because of the poor state of healthcare.
Okay. Thank God we had him back, and we wish and we hope that one day we'll place humanity first before sponsorship and whatever it is that we like to call
Debo,
it,
you're a
like
capitalist. You
achieve.
should know that will not happen,
Yeah,
Debo.
yeah, I'm a
No, but
capitalist,
Debo,
unfortunately,
I know
and
Debo. I don't think for me, I don't think we need to even lay much emphasis about capitalism or whatever. Even the sponsors, I don't think the sponsors would be mad if that game was owned by 48 hours.
but
48 hours.
looks like they were.
This game can be played. This game can be played in the
On one of
morning.
their free days.
No, it could be played
Exactly.
on
Okay,
Monday.
guys. O-
It
o-
can be
o-
played
Okay,
11 a.m. on Monday. It's not a big deal. It is
And it's just
Finland
no,
versus
45
Denmark, for
minutes,
God's
just to
sake.
think of it.
Yes,
I
and it's
think
Finland
I
versus
think
Denmark.
I think
Okay.
they called a crisis meeting between the officials and the two teams
Yeah.
after the incident, and
Yeah.
UEFA offered them to either continue the match or play the following day, 12
They should
p.m.
not offer them. They
And
should,
what and
Exactly.
what
they
we
should not
heard,
offer
That's
them.
been tricky.
It's
I
been
understand.
tricky for me.
I totally
And
understand that.
again, it's
We
what it
all
is.
were all scared. We were all scared. People were actually praying in my house. People that everything did not actually know. So, but the truth is, this is a competition. It is not a league. A league, it's easy for a match to be postponed to another match day or midday. A competition, that match has to go on before the next one. And if you look at also the logistic of this particular competition, they are hosting this competition in how many cities around
11
Europe.
cities.
It is
Now,
not the
Shay,
same. It is not the same country. So I'm very sure that they would have looked at all of this, and
Okay.
for them to also for the two teams to agree to play the match, I think that was personally, I think that was wrong.
I know for me,
They should have
I know I
agreed
will
to
you
never
see,
play the
understand
following day.
and I will never
Shay, I
agree
understand what
to.
you are saying. Demo,
I
I
will
think
never
this,
understand and I will never agree.
no,
Anyways, don't
Shay,
let's
Demo,
flog
this
it
is
too
it.
much. Let's move to the
Okay,
next
well,
game,
let's move
Olale.
on.
Let's
Let's move
move on
on.
to the next game. Belgium versus Russia. Olayinka. Romelu
Yeah,
Lukaku, it was the rejected stone of Manchester United, been doing it over and over again. I know someone on here that's actually compared Romelu Lukaku to Emin Penza.
Name Penza.
That's the kind of disrespect that he gave to Romelu
my
Lukaku.
God.
Like the person knows himself. I'm not going to out it too much.
maybe,
I'm not going to
maybe,
loud it. But this
maybe
guy is
when it was,
doing it
maybe
over
it was
and
the
over
Lukaku of
again. Eh,
Chelsea and not the Lukaku of now. Maybe it was the Lukaku of
no,
Chelsea
it was Lukaku of Inter Milan. Inter
that he
Milan.
compared
His
to
first
Emil
season.
Mensah.
Exactly, his first season. He knows himself. I'm not going to say anything. All right, Lukaku. This guy seemed not to stop scoring for his country, both club and country. Um, he's not the fastest with the ball, not off the ball. Off the ball is fast. Without the ball, with the ball, he's not the fastest. With his brain, he's not the most intelligent player. With his ball control, is one of the worst in the history of football. But we can't take it away from him. This guy is um, a symbol of goal scoring. We can't take it away from him any longer. We cannot disrespect him anymore. Russia was taken to the gutters and they were talking to Abattoir and they were slaughtered by good butchers on the night. The overall thought of the game from Belgium, what we are looking forward to seeing from them as the tournament proceeds.
Okay. Thanks, Debo. First of all, get well soon, Ericsson, from all of us. Then talking about this match, I mean, let's start with Lukaku. First of all, you cannot, like you said, you cannot discount the quality of Lukaku right now.
Yeah, you can.
He has played for top teams, Chelsea, Man United, and now
Yeah,
Inter Milan.
and he has played for the small teams as well. Exactly, and he
We
scored
know,
in
we
those
know.
teams as well.
Now,
So
now,
just supposed to tell you something
comparing him
about it.
to Impenzi is a great disservice to that man. Fine, maybe 5 years ago or 6 years, it was still very rough. It was actually
Yeah,
it was worth being criticized then. But in the last 3 seasons, he has upped his game. I mean, Lukaku bangs in goals. Like you said, to me, I see him as a Rashidi Yekini.
exactly.
He's
Yeah.
he's unrefined, but you can rely on him to deliver the goals when he's in that box 18.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at his first goal, it was a rebound of the opposition,
Yeah.
opposing defender, and within a twinkle of an eye, he took a shot straight to
Was the
the
back
to
of
the,
the
to the
net.
corner,
Yeah.
and it was a goal. Lukaku right now, you cannot trivialize his importance to anything. And at the end of the day, he
And
scored two
overall
goals.
for the Belgian team, what are
Yeah,
you expecting from them?
to me, yeah, going to the Belgian team proper right now. We know it's a team of superstars. Well, I see them as a growing team. They might have stars, but as a unit, they are still trying to gel. But now that Lukaku is picking up front, the middle they have good midfielders that can actually deliver the ball to Lukaku to score the goals. I see them. They'll go far. It's just that it's their defense lineup that I'm not too confident about.
Yeah. Okay.
They hardly play out from the back, which to me is a very, very key element of modern day football. I mean, you see a lot of teams, they build up play from the back, but
Mhm.
Belgium doesn't have a steady defender, or let's say central defender that can do that. They might go
Okay.
far, but I don't see them winning the title, especially
Okay.
with the French and the Spanish and Italian still there.
Okay. Olale, I'm gonna come for you now. We know we've spoken about this before now. The fact that in competition of this magnitude, experience comes into play. Last week we analyzed the defense that could be the Achilles heel. But your overall thoughts for this team, given what you saw yesterday, the opposition might not be the best, but your overall thoughts with how they will move from this level to the next level.
Yeah, of course. My expectation of the team has not changed.
Okay.
It's a win or bust for the team as far as I'm concerned. They are one of the most talented squad in Europe right now.
Yeah,
Uh, but
100%.
but again, knockout competitions could be very, very unforgiving at times.
Exactly.
You could win three group games, you are off form in the second round, and you're out of the competition.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, so how they respond to adversity to me will still remain the most important thing to
The
that
most
squad.
important thing.
I think nothing has changed, at least for them winning comfortably against probably Russia were poor on the night. First two goals they are avoided as avoidable mistakes.
So, yeah.
Uh, so uh, I still it was a very good win. Despite the fact that Kevin De Bruyne was not available, we were very
Uh-huh.
comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
so my expectation has not changed. I think all things being equal, the
So,
least I'm
so
expecting to them is in
the
semi-finals.
semifinals,
But
something
again,
like that.
let's see how it plays out.
Okay. All right, perfect. And of course, Austria versus North Macedonia. We don't expect anything less from the game. Kudos to Grandpa there, beginning to the tournament in the first instance. And of course, Holland versus Ukraine. Kachi, I'll start with you on that one. Holland versus Ukraine. Dumfries or whatever it is named, the guy that eventually scored the winning goal for Holland. Is that guy supposed to be a Dutch? Is he supposed to be in that thing? It looks like an erratic teenager giving the boat, you know. That's the way I see it. But your overall thoughts, the mental ability of the Ukrainians not sitting back and allowing the Dutch to run all over them.
Um, Netherlands, Ukraine has been the game of the round so far. Entertaining from the first blast of the whistle onto the very last minute, filled with dramas, filled with missed chances, and
Uh-huh.
you know, mental capability as well. The Dutch ran into a quick two-goal lead in the beginning part of the second half
Second half,
after missing several chances. Dumfries also being one of the culprits in the first half.
the major
Uh,
one.
but credit and kudos to Andrei Shevchenko's team led by Yarmolenko.
Yeah,
It was a fantastic goal by Yarmolenko to
yeah.
pull one back, and
Mhm.
an amazing header when the Dutch switched off by
Yeah.
I think Yamek to tie the game. But your flawed teenager that you mentioned, Dumfries, came up with the goods and secured the win for the Dutch. One
Yeah.
thing you should realize is most of what we praise the Catalonian teams, Espanyol or Barcelona with, were derived from Netherlands, from exporting Johan Cruyff
Yeah, crap.
Netherlands to Brazil. And part of what Johan Cruyff grew up or his philosophy was, if you discover them early, start using them that early. And I don't think, and based on that reason alone, yes, that young man deserves to be there.
Okay.
And he's paying back by scoring a goal. I mean, this was a
Okay.
game that after coming back out, leading 2-0, and then being pegged back, chances were that the Dutch team of old would have capitulated.
Yeah.
But it says a lot about how he plays with such joy and free will. It's like playing with his friends. I mean, if you score 9, I'll score 10. It's a
Okay.
good mindset to have, especially when you're going to meet very disciplined and well-drilled teams coming
Team.
from
Okay.
Eastern
All
Europe.
right.
So
Perfect.
really, really,
It deserves it according to you. I agree with you. I'm not going to argue about that. Let's see what they meet a good team. Shay,
I wanted
I'm gonna go.
I
I'm gonna
wanted to put something out there during
okay.
their training,
Yeah.
because Frank de Boer is known for famously playing 3-5-2.
Mm-hmm.
There was an aircraft that flew over their training ground saying,
Wow.
"Frankie, please play 4-3-3." Frankie needed them today. He started out on the 4-3-3 formation. He
Yeah.
switched it in the middle of the game to his regular 3-5-2. But at least it shows that
He
he's someone
listens.
who can take criticism. They may have won. I know there are still questions about his managerial
Credentials.
ability, but that was what people said about Zidane until he won 3 Champions Leagues on the bounce.
Okay, good one for Zidane. Shay, I'm gonna come for you now. England versus Croatia. The man that took 5 right backs to a tournament decided not to use any of his left backs.
Left back.
Use his right, it chose right back at, I don't know. He did a Guy Neville, Phil Neville of Euro 2000, if I'm correct.
Exactly.
You know,
You're
that's
correct.
what he did when he actually had correct and good left back. You know, it wasn't a game of also and Bosu. The Modric that we thought was gone and done and over looked alive against England. And of course, the attack of Croatia decided to go to bed
The
early,
blue shop.
early on Sunday. You know, amongst other things, anyways. But your overall thoughts for this match, especially for the English.
My overall thoughts for this particular game, I think it was a smash and grab game because it was totally a KG game. And what caused it actually is the way Southgate played the match on the day. He had
Olari
issues.
said that's what he was going to do anyway, so I'm not surprised.
He had issues with his. I think his midfield. He knew that he had less experienced midfielders to contain very experienced Croatian midfield. So he decided to go with like a double four. But we all know that Calvin Phillips still has that drive in him to go forward and create something. And I think that was the only difference in that
I
match
feel it
that
too.
created the goal. It was totally a KG game between the two of them. Uh, Even Southgate himself, after the match, said it. His plan was to make sure that the Croatian midfielders don't have the space to work with.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Mount, Phillips, and Rice did the job well.
Did the
So
job for him.
that's just my
Okay.
so
Olale, given what you saw on Sunday between England and Croatia, the way they played, and the way Gareth Southgate actually set up his team, how much of confidence? You know, you already said it anyways. You're more or less like a Prophet Wale now. You know, you already said he was not going to take any risk. He will just go with the norm. And he did exactly that. And it nearly backfired. How much confidence does he lose right now with what he did?
Did you know? You know that for me, if I tell you something, you'll be surprised. I think I was even a bit surprised with some of those changes that he actually made. One, I was actually expecting to play a 3-5-2, probably the wing backs. That was my
Uh-huh.
expectation. I was surprised to see him playing a back four. Playing the back four, when I now saw those two guys sitting in front of the back
He's going
four,
for the
I
back four.
I probably understand the reason why he took
He
that
did.
decision. And I think I am comfortable with those two guys he actually played there.
Okay.
I thought somebody that's left for me, I'll drop both of Rashford and Sterling. I won't play either of those two. But at least for him being able to drop one of them and recognizing the fact that Mason Mount and Foden are two of
I
his
better.
best attacking
Yeah.
midfielder, at least
Options.
feels a little bit of uh,
The way he's thinking.
exactly. At least it seems is moving towards what the current, as in the
Trend.
current things, the trend in his team. So overall, it was a KG affair. It's the first game of the competition. It's in Wembley against
In their backyard.
a Croatia team that let me say England has some kind of bitter history with. If
Okay.
you recall, route to 2008 Euro Nations Cup,
Yeah.
England needed a draw.
Robinson. Yeah.
They needed a draw at Wembley, and they lost to that Croatian team coached by Slavian Bilic.
Yeah.
And so the last World Cup, they lost in semifinals to this same team. So
Mhm.
you expect them to show them some bit of respect, even though this present team is not the same as
Not
the one.
on the whole.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Um,
There is a match